All right. So I was saying, so normally I work in Cursor. Before Plan Mode came out in Cursor, I used to um, like create a plan and ask the agent to like say, okay, come up with the steps, different
Yeah.
phases, the different needs for each one. What has been done. So like
So
sometimes it doesn't finish all the time, right? So like I want to know what you've done so far. It's basically off of like Claude Task Manager. That's where it's basically.
and but so like in Cursor you also have this once you do a plan and it starts executing, you also have the task, right, where it kind of checks it. But
Yeah.
is it not working for you?
Yeah, it's sometimes depending on what agent you use to build the plan, it can be really detailed, or it can have like a lot of to-dos or a few to-dos. They can be like more general, and sometimes it just doesn't even like check them off.
Okay.
And then it doesn't. The other thing that's a pain is like adding context. Like if you're working mid plan and the plan changes because like unforeseen like library dependency something
Yeah.
like, then you it's like you have to, if that stuff gets lost in the chat, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when I had a plan, I had to like, okay, update the plan, make note of it, so there's like a history of that.
So more like doing it phase by phase instead of, because the thing with the I'm also using Cursor right now, and with the, I think it's the Composer like model,
Mm-hmm.
it's super fast, and so you don't even have the time to check what happens, and it's finished, and then you're like, okay, I guess I will try it, but you're not exactly sure what happened, and you didn't have time
I
to think
know,
about it.
I know.
There was this guy on X that said like, I think you could do it in a cursor rule, but it was for Cloud Code, where he said in the instruction to always create phases to the plan and do it phase by phase instead of trying to one shot it. Uh, and I think this is one of the big, probably the problem that people using Lovable or Bolt will have, where they will try to one shot it and then obviously it doesn't work
Yeah,
uh, right away.
yeah, I mean it works, but it doesn't give, it's like it's MVP. It's there's nothing else to it. And as soon as you try to add one more thing, like
Mm-hmm.
password reset or whatever, anything to do with authentication, like it breaks. Yeah.
Yeah, there is one thing I did in an app I'm working on, and I'm not sure it's good or bad, because it was kind of a mess in the. I had too many API calls, and they were kind of grouped by type, like everything related to the lesson would be in the same file. And so I said, please, like, chunk it down to more like, you should be able to say this file does that. So like the API, name the file by what the API does. And then I have a lot of small files, and I don't know if it's a good or bad practice, but I'm wondering if, maybe for the agent it's easier to go through and say, if you want to modify this thing, then it's just this file.
Yeah.
Um, but maybe from a classic dev perspective, it would be like too much to have, one file for each. I don't
Yep.
know.
I agree. I've been wondering that too. And I feel like sharing the screen right now. Let me see. But like, I've been wondering if should be more comments at the top of like each file, so that
Mm,
if instead of having to go find the context, it's in, if the issue, if your linter tells you, oh, there's an issue in this file,
yeah.
okay, you should just at the top of the file that should have all the context you need, right? Instead of having to like guess what context you need in order to solve this file. Like, I
Mm,
think that I think maybe that's the only scenario where like in file context. But I also agree with you, like maybe having like other context files in the same folder could
yeah.
be helpful.
Because
Yeah.
I know that with Claude you can like add a Claude.md into each folder to add, information related to this specific folder.
Oh.
But you've been using CodeRabbit, right?
Yeah, my free trial ended, but yeah.
And the thing is like I've noticed that for me, like in the when it analyzes a PR, it will say for now it says doc string coverage, and it says something like 0 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And is it like related to the comment? Like, do you know what's the difference is between like doc string and comments?
I think I don't know. I don't want to act like I know. So, but
Okay.
I'm pretty sure there's like a standard which is called JS doc, and I think that's what they're referring to, which is it's a type of comment in
Okay.
yeah, it's like a standardized type of comment. There's an alternative which I forget what it is, but yeah, JS doc I think is what it's referring to, and
Oh, okay.
yeah.
So when I ask Claude Sonnet, it tells me. Ex- so the comments explain how the code works, clarify complex logic, or provide notes for developer reading the code, and docstring document what a function, class, or module does. They serve as official documentation. Okay.
What I heard is that okay, so JS doc is not like an official part of the JavaScript language. That's what I'm remembering. But there's like a move to make it part of it,
Okay.
and but mainly the people that are using it are library creators, which makes sense what you said. Like so that when you hover over
Ah,
what's it called?
a
Not
function.
yeah, function, but like a method, it tells you
Mm.
like all the parameters it needs, all that. So like it's like the typing and all that. So
Mm.
that it tells you the type and then like what it does. So that's kind of like I think there's that functionality already happening with JS doc, and like
Yeah.
we can use that as but AI can use that right. So AI can say, oh, that could be a way to talk to the agent. So I don't know. That's like there's so many ways to go right now, which is like I'm not even sure like going into like anti gravity is the biggest is the best move, but or like I'm on one hand I'm like I should just do it myself, and on the other hand like oh we should use like a tool, and I just don't know which way to go. But from what I can tell, it doesn't look like the tools are doing anything that sophisticated. You know, they're kind of just doing what you would do by yourself, but like in its own little graphical interface.
You mean like as a difference between anti-gravity, cursor, and the other ones?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, for me, I'm at a point where I probably want to try open code next, because I it seems to me that as long as I have a plan mode, it's going to be okay.
yeah.
Like in the sense that I can review the plan, I can check if it's aligned with what I'm trying to achieve, and then the model that is used. I don't think that you need the best of all of the model to execute. It's more like maybe for the planning that you need the Opus or something like this. But if you've spent time doing your plan, which is what you said before, where you were kind of doing it manually before like the plan node existed,
Yeah.
if your plan is like well thought, then executing should not be too bad.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't know if it makes sense to pay for something big when you have like open source alternatives. So I guess once my cursor subscription like ends, I will try open code and see what happens.
Um, can you show me OpenCode? I've heard of it, but I
I,
haven't.
I
Yeah.
yeah, I haven't tried it.
Yeah.
I can probably find a way to share.
I have tried KiloCode, uh,
Okay.
which is like an extension inside of VS Code, and that was pretty cool. Sometimes like a lot of these tools will give you too much rope, you know, and I'm like, there's just too many options. What I like about Cursor is like you just can just start and it just kind of works. It's very simple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the thing is like from what I've understood, it is more like Cloud Code, where it's a CLI, like in the terminal.
Yeah.
And what seemed interesting to me is that I think you could create like your own modes. So like you have plan and you have ask and you have something else, but you could create new modes with a specific set of instructions.
Yeah.
Where was it? I guess we can check the GitHub. No, because this will not share it. So we have the CLI here. And I think like, okay, it's the same page, but basically, yeah, you could use, I think, any model, and I've seen that you can, I think, use like your own keys. So if you have like an Anthropic account and you have some API keys, you can use them. I don't know like how user friendly that is, but I guess this is one of the reason people would stick to Cursor. I guess it's like some things are made a bit easier. But yeah, I guess
I'm curious
they
about
don't
this.
really show much here. I'll have to try it and report back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So it not along those lines, but like to continue the discussion of plan mode.
Yeah.
In the AI, what's it called, that conference that I was at, DEF CON, by the AI native one, another tool that was brought up was called, it was like a plan mode CLI that kind of did exactly what we do, and
Oh, but it would just generate the plan.
yeah, but it wasn't called it wasn't Taskmaster, it was a new one. I'm gonna look that up while we maybe you could talk about something else.
I don't know about you, but for me, like sometimes I'm not sure whether I should start with a plan mode or a ask mode, because there's some stuff that I kind of feel like I need to understand before I can come up with a plan. Where I will start with some questions, and if I am in plan mode asking the question, then maybe the plan is not really going to be, accurate.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Where it's more like, oh, I want to know how we've built this thing or what's the current state before trying to come up with a plan and say we need to change this thing. Versus saying directly talking about the feature. So I guess it's about like, are you talking about user experience or the flow in the plan, or are you trying to be more specific about like, I want to change this behavior?
Yep, I agree. I agree. I often will do this. I'll just like, I won't even touch my like cursor or anything. I'll just be in. I'll just open up like ChatGPT and I'll say, hey, I have an idea. Here's what I'm thinking. Like, what about this tech stack? What am I missing? I'll definitely go through that flow. Recently, one of the things I had to fix was like figure out like doing embeds, like a widget embed.
Okay.
So like I have this yoga app I'm building, and this yoga studios want to be able to like show their schedule in their website. They may have a Wix website or Squarespace website, like a Webflow site, and they just need to embed the schedule in their site. And the current options right now are not so bad, but a lot of them are terrible in terms of like the visuals of it. It looks like a schedule widget from the 90s.
Okay.
And so like I was, I'm like, oh, that's ridiculous. It should, I can make a widget that looks beautiful, and of course you can do it. A React app that has a beautiful, thing. But when you want to make a widget, it's another issue, because if you want to like use React, then you have to like load React into that package that gets loaded on their website, and like if they don't have React already bundled, which they won't, because it's a Squarespace site, and you're
Yeah.
just adding a lot of overhead, potentially. Or if you have like 4 or 5 widgets on a page, and so suddenly I was like, oh, I had to think more. It has to be. There's more to it than just like, oh, I'll make a beautiful widget.
Is it like consider like something that is like it's more like a separate app that is running at the same time that you are calling within the other app?
Yeah, actually. So in my hierarchy, let me share my screen. Riverside. Share. Let's see here. If we can do a window. Sangha. Should be fine. So I'll show you my file structure over here. Here I have my back end, my front end, and then Sangha widgets. So it's a completely separate like app hosted on Cloudflare,
Okay.
and both the front end and the widgets rely on the back end for the data.
Okay.
And sorry, I'm trying to make this.
And so you're saying like the widget and the front end they have a completely different build?
Yeah, they do because I mean I ultimately decided on like it's called bundling React in the widget.
Mm-hmm.
I think my instinct is that like people's internet connections are pretty good, and for this market, like people doing yoga probably have like an iPhone or like they're paying for yoga, so they must be in a position of like accessibility to like high speed internet. So I'm not too worried about the widgets not performing well. Now, like if and so to me, it's more important to have like a really beautiful widget that works nice, rather than something that works everywhere. And that's like usually my default is like, okay, it's got to work everywhere, it's got to be universal, so, but so like here's my normal widget. On my, let me see, why don't I see any classes? Oh, that's a bummer. Oh, because I'm not running the dev server. Hold on. And it's got like a little bit more nice styling. When I asked AI to like redo it, it got some of it, but not all of it. And you can see here. Let's see here. All right. Sorry, it's just the server's still starting. All right. So normally there's like images here, but you can see like, I mean, maybe zoom in a little bit more. Yeah. There's just nice interactions and transitions. Everything's smooth. On the widget builder, settings.
And so it's like the admin they have somewhere where they can customize the widget. Is that
Yeah,
it?
yeah. So here I have like the widgets, like where you can like copy the embed code,
Okay.
and then this will pop up in the website. I have a little preview of what it would look like here, but you can see that it's not the same, and it has like it's not as smooth. There's a little bit of like weirdness with the styling here.
Oh, so wait, and right now we're looking at the web app, like the front end, when before you were showing the widget itself, right?
Well, so this is like the code, like the actual one I built for the site, and now
Okay.
what you're seeing in the admin is, it's like this. Oh, it's this code inside. It's like this is the embed. This is the actual widget, and so this is just a component that has React bundled into it. I'm pretty sure. I'm not exactly sure how these things work.
Oh, okay.
That's the problem with being an AI dev, Uh, but this is relying on React to like handle states and stuff. I had to do more to it, but originally, like, that's just I don't know. My point was like the plan mode and like talking before you do plan mode. Like when I asked about building the widgets, like, well, are you planning to use React? Like, and I'm like, yeah, of course. Well, there's all these consequences to that. And you could, if you asked AI to like build a plan without talking beforehand, it
Yeah.
could just build it. I mean, that's what it did. The first version of this sucked. It looked like it had a terrible UI. Why? Because it was using basic HTML, no beautiful styling, no like state management, no animations, nothing, because that's the easiest way to build it. It's just sending
Yeah.
like HTML with data behind it. And I was
Mm.
like, no, 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 no,
So
I don't want to do that. Like that's not what I want. That's the whole point. So
yeah, I guess this is what would happen if you don't have like rules that are set up saying I want to use this library, I want to use this stack. When you plan, ask me question first before going all the way.
yeah,
And I think like if you have like a proper set of rules, then you can probably reuse them from one project to another, and you gain so much time.
yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. It's funny. Another thing that I've been using actually, because here's a lot of my plans. Like this is getting ridiculous, and I have a rule that tells it like, hey, please put the docs in my like your generated docs inside the docs folder, but it doesn't do it. It still forgets to put this somewhere else.
Okay.
But I have created like here's my first like this my new way of doing rules, which is like, oh my god, how do I hide this? Um, Let me hide this. It's like an index. It's
Oh,
a
you've done an index of the rules.
Yeah. So then
Interesting.
start here, and if you see down here in the, oh, it's not doing it. Oh, there it is. Yeah, it's loading. It loads the
Oh, it
0, 1.
shows.
Yeah,
And so, how did you? Is it just having like this index file that is making sure that the rules are referenced in the context every time?
yeah. See, I'm not sure how well it's working, and actually, every agent's a little bit different. So the point is that you would come to here, and then this references all the rules you need to go to. So, in, because it's very hard for me to say like to know when to apply it. It's not consistent, right? You'd say like if you're doing auth, use this rule, but sometimes it doesn't work.
Okay.
So like now it's like, okay, I can say if you are doing any of these procedures, then you should use one of these rules. So if anything to do with the database and it has to do with
Hmm.
issues or migrations, you can use these rules. I wonder if it's better to view it like this. Uh,
You
is
mean
there
with the?
is there a preview button? Let me see.
I
Hold
don't
on.
know if there is for MDC. For MD, I think there are. Okay. No,
Oh,
yeah, it doesn't work.
yeah, it's just poorly written.
Okay.
So that's working. But what I noticed yesterday I was using Codex. I did like like run multiple models at the same time.
Okay.
And I noticed that I used Codex 4.5 and Gemini, and Codex was the only one that like used used the MCP tools, like all of them, like all of its tweaks. Like it just went, it did exactly what I told it to do, and it had a really good usage of tools, where the other ones didn't. Now the other ones were able to accomplish like it well without it, but I really liked because I have this tool called memory. This may be too many things to talk about, but like I just wanted to tell you it's awesome. Cursor settings, tools, Cipher,
Okay.
and I've used this to replace um, like cursors in bound memory. You know, if you tell something like, "Hey, remember this," and then it kind of like says, "Okay, I'll remember that for you."
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's like that. So basically, this basically stores your like your information or whatever you like memory into like a vector database. So then like it
Yeah.
does vector searches to find that data, to find the relevant snippets that are like related to this thing. So like that's pretty cool because a lot of the searches are done by like auth, right? Like you're doing auth, so like it searches your data, your whole file with auth, which may not be the right way to go about it. Just using the words. This one uses semantic searching now, and also I can like group the memories per project. Or like cursive memory, like if I tell it like, hey, make sure you always do this one thing here, like make sure you always deploy to Cloudflare pages instead of this. And then if I'm working in another app, it'll be like, I know you like to work in, Cloudflare pages. And I'm like, no, 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 this is on Vercel. Like the memory
Mm.
isn't project scoped. So
Oh, but the rules, are they project scopes in Cursor?
the rules, you can have both.
Yeah.
You can have both.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. I don't know. Sorry, I've been going on. Sorry, I just wanted to. I just wanted to share. Like, there's so many
Uh,
things. Like,
Yeah.
I'm getting like kind of overwhelmed, to be honest, with all the things.
I, and I guess it's probably getting worse if you use different stacks. So like for me, I'm really trying to narrow it down to one stack and just be comfortable with it. Um,
You mean like tech stack, like framework?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I am like so I'm currently like wrapping two projects, and I have two other ones that are starting where I've been doing like some kind of vibe coding prototyping as a first phase and doing like some user testing, and now they are both like moving toward, okay, the scope is done, we're going to do just that, I'm going to move to production.
Nice.
And yeah, it's going to be interesting because I love to see if I can properly reuse like the stacks and the rules and the kind of the project context that I have on the project that are completed, and use all of the learnings to make it easier to do these two. And yeah, I'm hoping that by the end of December I have like a really kind of clean methodology that I can just replicate. Because yeah, it's been quite experimental in these past few months. I think this is also what makes it fun,
Yeah.
but at the same time, you're like, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah. It's like it's what this process is not money making. Like it's just set up. It's like it's just like building your house. There's or I don't even know what the good analogy is, but
Yeah,
it doesn't make any
it's
money, and so but it feels like you kind of have to do it because like every time you get that one more thing, it's like it's just that much easier, that much more efficient, that much built faster, and yeah, I guess there's a balance.
yeah, and to all like talking about production ready, I know that for now I am not like using I mean proper testing, like unit tests and all of these things.
Mhm.
Have you started setting that up? I wanna. It's kind of the one of the next thing I know I need to do.
Actually, so the for like this app that I was just showing you, Sangha, it's such a big app that I'm really happy I went with what I decided from the beginning was to go with a monorepo, and that's like having multiple apps in this one
Okay.
repository. But I didn't know how to set up a monorepo. I'm not, I'd never done it before, and so because I know that there's like tooling around it. One is called like Turbo
Okay.
Repo. I think that's by Vercel, and there was a template repo, like a boilerplate for a monorepo that already included Cloudflare and yeah, like it was based off Cloudflare. So then like it came with like a bunch of commands built in that are like a combination of different commands,
Mm-hmm.
which include testing. Um,
Okay.
yeah, and so now
So
like when I if I deploy it to Cloudflare, no, or like when I save it to
okay.
my Git repository, it does all these checks, and it basically says like, is everything like the right style? Like the prettier. Does everything match the same? So like, and if
Mm.
it doesn't, it's like you failed, and it doesn't let you save it. So you have to like fix it and then try to deploy again.
Is it
And,
and
yeah,
so this is it's happening when you push to GitHub.
when I push, yeah. I also have a command I can like run it myself,
Yeah.
and so it does styling, it does the type checking, and then it
Okay.
runs the tests if I have tests.
Okay.
I Here's the thing. I don't know if having tests in the beginning is worth it. So I start like because I had the functionality, I was like, okay, AI was just like, should I create some tests? I think it could see that I had a test runner built in. And
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, just create some tests and do it. And then as time was going on, as more and more project I was building, I was running more and more tests. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't need to run these tests for the booking side of it when I'm working on the admin side of it. But I don't have like the knowledge, like to be like, okay, should I, turn off these selectively? And
Yeah.
there was a gap in knowledge me with this, so I just stopped. I just said stop building tests. I don't want to run any more
Mm.
tests.
I guess I mean it's probably about like are you in production or like where is the app right now?
Right. Yeah.
And I'm assuming that if you're in prod and you have something that is stabilized, people are paying for it, you probably want to take time to do it.
Yeah. You're right.
But when exploring and you're still not sure like how it should function, you probably don't want to lose time doing that.
Yeah.
But still like so, is it something that goes and because so for me in the beginning I didn't really understand like the scripts and all of these things how does it work, and at the end what I saw is that maybe I can share and show it that things that are in you have the script folder and then you have the package.json.
Hmm.
Maybe I can show it on this one. And also, yeah, I would be curious to hear like how do you interact with your prod database, or because for example if you are in Bubble, like you would do your changes on your dev and then you would deploy and it's going to change the database, whereas here you kind of, I mean, at least for me, I've been having to do it separately
Yeah.
every time, and this is kind of
That's entirely stack dependent, right? Like if you're using
yeah.
Supabase or Cloudflare or like just like a SQL database, a hosted SQL database, or Convex, like whatever, like that real time database that I was talking about before. It changes the exact everything that how you do it. So, and I think you use
Yeah.
Supabase, right? A lot.
Yeah, I'm using Supabase.
Yeah. I had the most
And,
success when I
and
have a local version.
yeah, so what I do is that I have like a Docker that is running and like Docker desktop, and this is where like all of my local instances are running, and I'm using Drizzle.
Yeah.
So with Drizzle, I would look at the local database, and I think I tried to share, but it didn't work. I have to try that again.
That sounds so complicated, Benoit.
You mean having the local and having the other
Just
stuff?
having, I mean, like a Docker container is like simple when you think it's just a container for your app, but then like just having it, do you have to run the Docker container when you run dev? Like, is it something that you have to
So
think about
no,
doing?
actually, like it seems complicated, but it is quite easy. Let me show what it looks like the Docker stuff. Um, because for me, I thought like I have to set up Docker in the project and everything, but at the end I just have like I open it on my desktop.
Yeah.
It's like your project is linked to the desktop instance of Docker through the environment variable. and then you just have to open Docker and you just start doing your dev. So it's like you link it one time and then that's it. I guess I don't really want to show my
Yeah, I get it.
my local environment, but I wanted to show like the kind of the Docker thing.
Yeah,
Uh,
we should definitely have some demo projects because it seems like all of our work is client work, and we need to like be able to show stuff.
yeah, I've been talking with my client, and one of them was like kind of okay for me, to sharing the progress and the thing online. And I think this is something that I will try to do more and more because it's not fun if you can not share what you do, I think.
Yeah. Would you be
Um,
down to would like if we had a client that maybe I don't know for free, but if they wanted us to build it online, like would you do it reduced price?
mm, yeah, maybe. And so for example, these are like the project I'm working on, and these are like the Docker instances. But apart from just opening the Docker desktop, I'm not doing anything else. Like once you've linked it, this is like this is where it's more like you have to open it, otherwise you cannot do you cannot launch the local preview.
Mm-hmm.
But once it's done, like you don't need to worry about it. So it was more like something that seemed complicated in the beginning,
Yeah.
but now it's just like I know that it has to be open for me to run my local instance,
Yeah.
and I just have like the setup that is done in the environment.local, where it has the URL of my local database,
Mm-hmm.
and this is how it works for the
Okay.
all the stuff. And
So if you
maybe
turn off your computer and turn your computer back on, what do you
yeah,
have to do? You have to turn on
I,
Docker desktop
yeah.
and then
I just have to open Docker desktop, and then I would open Cursor or Cloud Code and run like my pnpm run dev, and then it works.
oh, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, because before what I was trying to do is like I had a Supabase, I had two Supabase instance, like two real prod, except one I called dev and the other one I called prod, and I was doing migration, and I was just like, this is insane. So now what I do is that I have like so there is Drizzle
Yeah.
on top of my Supabase local and prod, but I would just say update the Drizzle schema if I want to make changes to the database. And then once I'm happy with the changes, you also have to update like it's called a journal, and basically the journal is the historic of the migration.
Yeah.
So um, I would make the changes, generate a new migration file based on the changes that have been made to the schema,
Mm-hmm.
and then once this is done, I can apply like the migration to prod. So I have a command in my I guess this I can show, um, and I didn't really understand like the kind of the package.json in the first place, but now it's starting to be a bit more clear, where I have all of the scripts. Yeah, so I can see here like the scripts and the command, and I've created, and I don't know if this is the way to do it, but I have it here. DB Prod Studio. Is it this one? So this one basically it does like it shows me the live version of it. So the live version of the database, and I
Wow.
guess I could show like oh, it probably didn't work because I didn't do that. But basically what I wanted to say is that I would have the scripts that are at the top of the project here, and I created a script that is, so this one is to look at the prod studio, but this one is to push the changes to prod. So it just looks like that, where the URL of the prod is here, and it's just using the migrate command. So it's going to take the latest migration file and try to apply it to prod, and I can just do it from the CLI.
Right. So you do that. You're not asking the agent to do that. You're just like you just run the
Oh,
script, right?
um,
Or both.
so I would tell the agent to make the changes to the schema, and then most of the time it will forget to update the journal. So I would have to tell update the journal, and then I would make the migration.
Yeah.
But for example, for Drizzle, so this is the command, and it will do it like this. And you can do it with there is the equivalent with Supabase to look at it in the browser, but this is going to give me a URL that on which I can look at all of my local database basically.
Cool.
So I could look at it here normally. Okay. Okay. Oh no, okay. Yeah, this is me. Yeah, and it looks just like this, where I will have like my tables. I will be able to look at the data and update it directly from here.
Yeah. That's super cool.
Um, but so, how do you do it?
Well, I think I mean, you mentioned this earlier about having different stacks. So depending on what I'm doing,
Yeah.
right? So I'm really liking the Cloudflare stack because I use Drizzle as well in Cloudflare
Okay.
because I'm running on top. Like Supabase is just using a Postgres
Okay.
database.
So
What happened?
I'm not sure why it didn't work.
Uh,
Maybe it's because I am within cursor here. I
uh,
have to check. But yeah, basically this is how I would access it, like using this URL and making my changes.
mhm.
And yeah, it's been really more effective than what I was doing before with the prod and the dev version, which was just bad.
Yeah. Which is
Mm.
funny because I feel like that's the default way people start to do it. Like I feel like the whole claim to fame about Supabase is like it's so easy to do it, but like I didn't feel that way personally. I think maybe because like if you're a developer, a classic developer, and you go to Supabase, oh, this is great, so much is done for me. But if you're like a no coder coming
Mm.
into databases, you're like this is a lot of work. Whereas like if I just tell the agent to like, hey, like it doesn't. I have Drizzle and it's on Cloudflare's Postgres database. I'm just like, hey, create a migration for it, and I'm like,
Yeah.
create a whatever for it. It doesn't run the command; it just does it. It looks at my changes. It's,
Mm-hmm.
oh, here's the migration you need. And I'm like,
Yeah.
wow, like. Oftentimes the commands I use break because of some weird thing, and the agent
Mm-hmm.
just says like, "Oh, I need to just do it myself," and that works better. And I'm like, "Okay, great." So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I feel like when it comes to whether it's the git command or the command that are used to make changes to the database, to me it feels like it's good to take time to do it yourself, so that you understand how it works before you let the
Yeah,
agent do it.
yeah,
And for now, like the git command, I'm trying to do them manually, where I would do my checkout and all of these things, create the branches, doing like push origin, and then GitHub PR create, things like that.
yeah,
I guess it works to do it with the agent, but the thing for me is like, if everything is instant, then you don't have time to think. Like you can't really keep up. So I feel like it's good if you can have moments where you pause, and maybe it's just typing is also a way to do that.
yeah.
Um,
I don't know. I think I differ with you there, but I agree that it's there. You need a time to pause.
yeah.
I have started. I have used the agents now. I used to do it too. I used to say, okay, all right, merge. I was so
Mm-hmm.
scared. so scared of merging, so scared of like putting branches. It seems like it's like a scary thing. And at some point, I just stopped and I said, "Okay, agent, just merge this branch to this branch." I don't even tell it. Just like, just do this to main. You know, I don't even know if it's called main. It's maybe called master sometimes. Maybe because it's not production. I think that's a good point. I
Yeah,
think you mentioned that before. Like once you're in production, I think that's going to require a different level of
yeah,
scrutiny and checks.
and
Yeah.
I I agree with you. Like I run into this thing where I would push my PR, and then now that I've installed CodeRabbit, it will take time, and it is like quality review, but it takes a long time. And if I'm making small changes, I feel like I don't want to wait for CodeRabbit to be done before I can merge it.
Yep.
Uh, so I think it's always probably depend on the changes you're making.
Yeah.
But at this point, like if I don't want to bother with the changes. Maybe I should just make the update to main directly instead of creating a PR. Yeah,
Yeah. I know. I'm right there with you. Right now, like well now that I'm off CodeRabbit for now, but for me it was like, do I want CodeRabbit to view it or not? And if I
yeah.
do, okay, I'll create a PR. If not, I'll merge it to main. That was
Do
basically my thought
you
process.
have you installed like the extension in Cursor?
No, I was just using it in GitHub. Yeah.
Because what's good about the extension in Cursor is that when you do a commit, it will ask you, do you want code review to review the commit? And then it does it like directly in the IDE,
That's cool.
and you can just make the changes like that.
What I'm interested about is like, what the heck? Like, just do it right the first time. It's not like we're giving it to like a better AI. It's the same AI. Right? I don't understand. I mean, it works. Like, it clearly works. I'm like, wow. Thank God he reviewed it because you caught things that the other guy. But like,
Yeah,
what the heck?
but I feel like I had a better experience with CodeRabbit inside of Cursor rather than Visual Studio, because in Visual Studio, uh, it does review the commit, and then it says you have this small AI button where you can copy the prompt to the AI,
Hmm.
and in Visual Studio it triggers like the GitHub Copilot, whereas in
Uh,
Cursor it will just use the agent you've been using to do everything. So
oh yeah, that's cool.
yeah, you click on it and then it just open a new agent window with the prompt basically, and you can
Yeah.
just
Wow. Okay, so we've talked about a lot of stuff. I think I had to go in like 3 minutes. Um,
yeah. One thing I wanted to ask quickly is
yeah.
like, do you in Cursor do you also use like the branches? Because for now, like I'm mainly talking to local, to make the changes, but I've seen that you can select different branches, probably the one that are remote as well. So have you been using that?
So branches, I used to, I used to think that was the right way to go. For me, it wasn't. Branches is good like if you if you're gonna be working on two different machines. So like we have the main branch, and then we have like in the GitHub repo, and then let's say that I want to work on login, and you're gonna work on settings. I'll
Yeah,
create the auth branch, you create the settings branch, and then we'll come back to main together. That makes sense. But on the same machine, when you're running the dev server, like if you're running main and then you open a new branch, you don't have like separation. Like it's not. It's like, so if you have, let's say you're in main, you make changes and you create a new branch, those
yeah,
changes are now in the new branch if you
yeah.
commit, right? So what you need to do is create a work tree. That's what these like parallel agents are doing. So when you run in Cursor, you say run on multiple agents, it'll create a work tree, which is what you would expect a branch to be like, which is like it's a whole it's a copy of your entire project on your machine, and with that
Okay.
branch, with a new branch. So you have your app. A work tree is a copy of the entire app here, so much that you have to run like pnpm install pm. You have to run all your commands to set up your
Mm.
to repo, and then so that's how the parallel agents work. And
Okay.
that's kind of a problem because you have to do all those commands, or else it doesn't work. Depending on your stack, like when I want to just test it. Sometimes it's like it tests its work,
Mm.
but like with Convex, you need to run these build commands, and so that's kind of like an issue there. But that's what I do. If I want to do branching, I would do work tree, and that way
Okay.
the work I do is separate. They doesn't impact each other.
But you said it's because it's on the same machine. Like if you were to have different branches that are on the remote,
Oh,
would that work?
if you had a different remote branch,
Yeah.
well, it's just I mean it's like if you are working if you are working if you open up a remote branch, that becomes your
Yeah.
current branch. If you have changes already made, I don't know if it'll let you open. It'll force you to say like, hey, do you want to stash these? Do you want to merge your changes? So you have to have a fresh slate. If you bring in that remote branch, you can do that and work on it. But then you can't open up another branch. You can't work on two branches at the same time. That's the issue.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I haven't really used parallel agents. I guess I would have to try. I was always concerned with what happens when you try to remerge the branches, so that's why I was doing, one at a time.
Oh yeah. No,
Yeah.
I mean as long as you're not even, it's pretty good to be honest. Depending on what you're doing, if you're saying two agents to work on the same thing, then you're gonna have issues. But if you separate them enough, it works. It works pretty well.
Okay, yeah, we'll
yeah.
give it a shot. Cool. Okay,
Yeah.
that was nice.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let me see here. I want to make sure I'm not.
Yeah, I think we had like, on Twitter it says there are like 4 people. I don't know if it's just us plus 2 other people, which is definitely possible. But I don't
Yeah.
know. Maybe we do the same thing next week,
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah. If anybody was watching this, please find us on Twitter, or find a way to tell us that hey, you watched this. Leave a comment so that we know you are watching it, and if you enjoyed it, we'll keep doing it. Yeah. But
Do you know if it was also on YouTube?
yeah, it should be.
Yeah.
It should be.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't really have any followers, so. But
I have like 70 on YouTube. I should have shared it, I guess.
yeah, let me why don't we quit the stream and then we'll debrief.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right.
Okay.
So stop.
Have a nice week, everyone.
See you,
Bye.
everybody. Bye.